Ready?
Scoot, asking you shall receive, sir. So this is the Mac 11. Little linty. Kid went and wiped it down. Safe. Fire. That's fire. Obviously, what first thing we should do, and we did this already, right? Make sure it's not loaded. So that's bolt operation. It's a blowback operated 9mm pistol. If this were full auto, you'd find another switch down here, and that would help the full auto. The sights, pretty rudimentary. You got a peep sight, and then you have a notch sight, which lines up with the front post. It's not a very accurate firearm, and it's actually very crudely manufactured. This is the rubber sleeve that goes over the trigger. When this firearm functions, and that bolt, put on fire, when the bolt or the firearm discharges and the bolt travels rearward, I was hoping you'd see that a little better, but it definitely slaps the trigger. Mac 11s are known for that. Similar to like how AK-47 trigger would feel, but this is a lot worse. Some are worse than others. This one really isn't horrible. It's got a threaded barrel. This is the magazine release here. This is the barrel extension that came with the firearm back when it was sold. It's green. I Duracoated it years ago. I was actually going to do the whole firearm that. This was getting very rusted and corroded and pitted. And I happened to have it in the shop one day, and I noticed that. And so I sprayed it. I wasn't going to leave it that color. It was just to stop it from corroding. And I never went back and finished it. I should have did the whole gun that color. It's kind of a cool color, right? And it's held up pretty decent. It's just a solid piece of metal. There's nothing fancy about it. It screws on simply enough. Obviously, if this were a suppressor, it would function the same way. And it locks down. It does let you bump fire it, because there's a tube going on the center, then the outer sleeve, so it doesn't really get very hot. By the time you get enough rounds through this firearm, firing it, you'd be over that. Forget the thread, it's like 1 3/4 or something. It's a goofy thread. To take it down, actually we'll show this first. Empty magazine. There's 2 types of magazines for this. The earlier mags that came out, they were a metal magazine. They looked a lot like the Sten gun magazines. I do have some of them, but I asked the boy to grab one, and this is what he grabbed. It's a plastic magazine. I believe they're 32 round capacity. It's at least 30, might be 32. They go in, locks in, right? The magazine release is like a European style magazine release that's on the heel of the pistol. So if you're going to change the magazines, you'd grab the gun, or right-handed, you'd grab the gun, press that with your thumb, and you'd strip it out, insert a new one. There is no lock open feature. To disassemble it, it's very simple. Get out of here, Fubar. Hey, they don't want to see you. Go. This is why the guns get drool on them. To take it apart, there's only really one pin that retains the firearm. I don't know if I showed you this either. That's for the sling. Or there's a loop that comes in here. It's just a straight strap. But it's a simple pin. You just push it out. Pulls all the way out. Grab me a piece of paper towel. I guess we should wipe it down. It's dirty. Like I tell people, we actually shoot the guns. I know people are religious about cleaning their firearms. I clean them when they need to be cleaned. When we start having either function issues or we lose accuracy. I find for me, number one, it's costs money to clean a gun, but there's no reason to put excessive wear on a firearm by constantly taking it apart, cleaning it, scrubbing on a bore. I don't clean my barrels. I will mop them out with like some Hoppe's number 9, the chambers and the feed ramps to keep them functioning, but I won't scrub on a barrel until that firearm loses accuracy. Once the accuracy starts going away, then it's time to clean the barrel. So we got the pin out. It's kind of interesting. It just lifts up and pulls out. You can see I use grease. I mean, it's dirty, but it's not going to function dirty. So again, we got our safety lever, and that rotates. You can see the spring, and all it does is block the trigger mechanism for moving. Yeah. That would be safe. So there's not a lot to it. If you have the gun apart, you got to be careful not to let your hammer slam all the way home. You can see the bar that moves. This is what actually catches your hammer, and it makes it semi-auto. You have to let go, the hammer releases and fires again. For the upper assembly, which is right here, you pull the bolt back to the rear. You can see the cutout here. You pull your bolt back, the charging handle comes straight out, and your bolt will come straight out. Now you can see the gun's dirty, but there's still clean grease in it. I use grease in all my firearms. There's a rubber buffer, and then there's a retaining plate that holds your spring and your ejector in the firearm. You can see that here. Right, so you can see the ejector come out, and you can see the guide rod for the recoil spring come out. So generally when we go to the range, depending on how long it's been or what we're going to be doing with it, I generally will re-lube a gun every time we go out and shoot it. I'll take a rag just like I am right now, and we'll wipe it down, and we'll re-lube the firearm. But for actually scrubbing on them, I save that for when there's either function issues or accuracy issues. Let me pull it out. So there's not much to it. That's the charging handle. Hopefully you can see that. The barrel on them is a little different because you can see it's way back into the receiver, and when the firearm chamber is around, hopefully you can see that the bolt actually goes over quite a ways over the barrel. It's real similar to how an Uzi works. So for example, this empty piece of brass, you can see it come over and then pull out. When the gun would come back, obviously this recoil spring assembly and the ejector would force that out. So like I showed you before, you'll see the ejector slide forward as the assembly goes to the rearward position. It would pick up another round. That's about the travel it would go, which coincides with about the travel here. It would kick that out, and a new round would be picked up and fired. So it's this. So you can see how that round would sit in there or be held in place. So kick that out, reassemble simple, right? You put it in that far till your charging handle goes in, that goes back in. You make sure that's relatively straight. That just snaps right back in. You put it in. I'm trying to show you right-handed, and your pin goes back in. Now it's a functioning firearm again. So hopefully that answers your questions. One thing I'll add is if you wanted to adjust either windage or elevation, so shooting left, shooting right, shooting high, shooting low, that front sight post, you see it's just a bent piece of metal, and you would bend it. You'd either bend it up or down or left or right. That's how they made it so you could adjust it. Now the barrel looks short, but remember the barrel comes all the way back to here, so it's what, I mean, that's at least an 18-inch barrel, right? I mean, yeah, that's definitely 18 inches. But yeah, Cobra Mac 11, manufactured in 1989. It's an interesting firearm. It, over like a Tech 9, it's interesting because this works. It works every time. I've had this for actually a very long time. The only problems we've had with it is a few. One, I've lost this clip and I had to replace it. Two, the rubber buffer in it wore out. And then three, I broke a hammer in it. And then four would be the last thing, it doesn't like 147s. So I can't say I've owned it all this time. It's been completely trouble-free. Because like I said, I lost the clip, I broke a hammer, and I wore out the buffer. But we take it out once a year, usually. And all I do with it is I'll put the barrel extension on it. And we put the magazine in it. And I'll hold it. I usually like to hold it like this because it's easy to hold. And I'll just bump fire it. Kind of looks like you're jerking it off. But the gun will, because it's got trigger slap, when it slaps that trigger, it'll push your finger forward. You're still holding on the gun, it'll push it right back in it. It's extremely, extremely easy to bump fire. So I appreciate you being a member of the channel. I appreciate you being the first member of the channel. So this was for you. I hope I answered your questions. If not, sir, feel free to let me know and we'll go into more detail. Thanks. Bye.